Joseph, can you comment on the use of rage or smash rooms? I've heard that people are trying to get rid of their anger by smashing everything in a room with a big mallet, but I'm just not sure if that's a really good tactic or not.
Well, I mean, I haven't heard of smash rooms, but I've heard variations of it. I know things of that, from punching the pillow all the way to, primal scream therapy, getting that energy and emotion out and going. Sure. I mean, if it's going to allow you to access and feel anger, or it built to the point of rage, and you have trouble accessing it, sure, that's helpful to get it going. It's not going to help you understand this emotion at all, called anger and rage, these emotions, but it will at least begin to get you in touch with it. But I hesitate to say this is useful enough, because if you're just doing it to get rid of it and not understand it, and not understand its communication, then you're just muting emotions. You're pressing the mute button on emotions, and this is what we constantly try to do, to mute emotions. Now, I understand emotions are one of the most challenging experiences on earth. You can deal with a broken arm much better than you can deal with grief, heartbreak, let's say, a broken heart. Nothing compares to it physically, right? So I understand how we want to stifle it, mute it, stop us from feeling it. We haven't built our muscles enough, our emotional muscles enough, our emotional body enough to take that impact fully. So this sounds like the beginning stages, if we look back in history, of the emotional bodybuilding movement that is beginning now. And looking at the earlier years when we just looked to express it before we understood it. So for some people who can't experience these emotions and really can't get in touch with it, it's helpful. And for those who have so much that it takes them over and they just need to release some of this energy, it's helpful. But at the end of the day, it's energy, and what do you do with it? You know, in the Far East, they say that the breath contains energy inside it. Like a cover of a seed is the breath, and what's inside of it is the energy. They call it prana. And so the key is to breathe to a deep enough level where you unlock it and extract that energy, that powerful primal energy called prana. And so that is the deepest and most powerful way to breathe. Well, in the same vein, anger has an energy. Without it, this world would not exist. There's no way this world would exist. We wouldn't have made it as Homo sapiens in this world without anger. And it allows us to consolidate. It is a temporary energy also, though. It can burn out quickly. I understand that. But to understand it, to understand how to work with this energy. So, you know, the way we discovered nuclear energy and started working with it, there's emotional energy. Different kinds. Anger is one of them. And it requires some real looking, instead of dismissing it or making it wrong. Because that's the biggest problem. In some parts of the world, anger is wrong. Instead of doing that, but try to understand it and see how we can access that power of it that it possesses, and to see what it's trying to communicate. Your emotions are another form of self-communication and communication from the world and your interaction with it. So if a certain part of the world affects me, or an experience in life affects me a certain way, and prompts certain emotions in me, there's a communication between me and the world going on, and it's happening emotionally. It's like music. Emotions are its own realm. Like music, it's its own realm, and we communicate with music, don't we? And we can't, it's not logical what makes you dance and why you dance. It's not truly logic. You don't use logic in it, you just are moved by it. And the music communicates to you, and your body communicates back to it in dance. And we're fine with that, aren't we? Because we've looked at this, we've looked at it from the beginning of time. Emotional communication, we know a lot less about. And we don't even understand it as a communication. We really think it's random and sporadic emotions, and the communication that emotions provide us and are elicited from us, from the world, the physical world itself, not even people, clearly animals, but not even what you would call a living being can elicit emotions. And if you don't think, emotional activity and communication is necessary, well, anyone that has been ever in a deserted situation, in a solitary situation, will find themselves talking to anything, as was demonstrated in the movie Castaways with Tom Hanks. So we are in need of taking individual emotions seriously, taking a look at what they have to offer us, to unpack, open, uncover what each of these emotions represent, what their energy represents, and how it's trying to affect us, keep us alive, keep us going, or protect us even. We have made emotions wrong for so long. There's very few emotions that get away with not being wrong. Happiness is one of them, happy, joy. But the majority of emotions and little emotional subtleties, most of them we make wrong to some extent because we don't understand it. But that's what we do. We make shit wrong we don't understand. So we definitely have embarked on a time period of self-work and self-development and self-awareness that is begging for us to understand now emotional energy and to build this emotional body, because you have an emotional body even though you can't see it, touch it, hear it, feel it, taste it. It's there because you experience it.